not the first time that international bodies, the international community is calling on the government of Cameroon to release political prisoners. So do you think that the government of Cameroon is actually going to heed to this call?
Madam Sharon, first of all, I don't know if the government we have in Cameroon is a government that actually respects the rule of law, because let's even not look into the World Organization that putting this pressure. We have other political parties that have been sending numerous campaign trying to advocate for the release of political prisoners, but despite the regime in place, I believe he's so stubborn to listen to the plight of his own people, because I believe that the president of the country had to initiate multi-partyism, because he believes that it could not handle the affair of the nation. That is why he had to introduce multi-partyism. So, but despite opinion leaders, which I consider opposition leaders, they have made a lot of campaign demanding for the release of political prisoners, but still yet nothing has been heard. And we know that we are at the stage of the cholera outbreak, which I want to believe, like I said on this platform, the last program, that we lost one of our comrades because of the sanitation condition of the prison in Newport. So the question is, why are they even there? Why should they be detained? Because they stood up to ask that, please, the war in Norway should end, but today they have been given 7 years prison term. So I think that first of all, it's for a great interest that I had to get the World Organization Against Torture giving the pressure, because it shows that the only language the regime gets is pressure. But it's like when they keep on saying this, I don't know, the regime in place keep on showing its own effort to show that maybe there is a place in the government that does not listen. Because it's really bad for the World Organization to instead come at this moment informing them. It's like they don't know the situation, the prison condition. And if you look at even the prison condition, you look at the hell that these prisoners are going, is really bad. So anyway, I thank the initiative, and I call on now the patriotic Cameroonians to equally join their voice to see that these political prisoners should be released, because I know this information reaching the Cameroon government is like they will obviously be proving that there are those type of government that does not listen, does not care, even those prisoners die how they don't, it doesn't matter. So I just believe that maybe God might touch the heart of some of these politicians in the name of ministers in the country to change, to give a presidential pardon to the political prisoners, because it's really sad to see the situation of these political prisoners that are jailed today in the various detention centers. And we need the overcrowding condition of this prison in Cameroon.
Actually shows or elaborates on that part, the overcrowding part of it, and it gives a picture of that, or of the Enugu Central Prison. We leave at the Guardian Post and we take the Chronicle Times. The Chronicle Times write on this historic Indian Peace and Development Conference that opened up today and is to run all through the weekend there in the Indian division of the southwest region of the country. So what, in your opinion, your political analyst, what do you think is going to be the outcome of this Indian Peace and Development Conference?
Madam Sharon, I don't know if they are steering the political gallery, because all these solutions are cosmetic solutions. There are a lot of proposals that has been tabled to the government. And the first thing is, we talk about ceasefire. The release of the non-state armed group, like those I consider the frontline leaders and other political prisoners, which are in connection to the Anglophone crisis. So when you go forward and maybe you are organizing issues like this, the problem is, what will be the outcome? We have seen some of these things that has been happening, people coming together, even the Kadinatumi, all this, at the end, it doesn't pave the way. So that is why I say they are all cosmetic solutions. The government in this country need the right thing to do. We have said the first thing is to count a ceasefire, the release of political prisoners. Then you can now call for an inclusive dialogue that is going to paint. So what they are just doing is they are just trying to scare the political gallery in Cameroon. So nothing will come out. To be honest with you, we are talking of a crisis of about 6 years that we have about thousands of our brothers and sisters that are dying on daily basis. Their properties are being destroyed in the English-speaking part of Cameroon. And the government will just think, and maybe you want to see to organize such an event, it must be by state payers' money in the name of the Indian Cultural Association or whatsoever. They are all cosmetic solutions. We have table proposals, concrete proposals to bring a lasting solution to this. So what they are doing, I don't know, the same outcome that we have observed from other cosmetic solutions, but obviously there is nothing that's going to come up. But anyway, I don't believe that they should not taking much time. They should just at least send a straight message to the government, and they can use the proposals that was tabled by the various political parties, because if you look at it, it has a lot of similarities, like we talk of ceasefire, release of political prisoners, inclusive, calling for an inclusive tribune dialogue where every person will be mindful of your political affiliation, mindful of your differences. You that you believe that separation is an option, you should also equally be invited. So I don't know what they are doing. If, like I said, they are just simply spreading the political gallery.
But then now we're people moving to Nigeria, and the Nigerian papers this morning have that President Muhammadu Buhari